ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So dear devotees, we discussed in the previous session about the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we have been discussing the entire background of the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Kali Yuga is progressing, how the devotees were heartbroken to see that no one is worshipping Krishna, and so many wrong philosophies were being practiced, and answering the intense prayers of devotees like Sri Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the Falgun Purnima when it was Chandra Grahan. And we discussed the significance of Chandra Grahan, how Chandra represents Chandramukhi, Srimati Radhika Rani, and Grahan also, it means eclipse, it also means to accept. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by appearing during Chandra Grahan, wants to teach us that he has come to accept the mood of Srimati Radharani. Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. We discussed that verse also from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is the fifth verse, the first chapter of Adi Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very important verse. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmanav Api Bhui Pura Deha Bhedau Gatau Tau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. We discussed this verse and we described, based on the words of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today we will start chapter number 3 of the Adi Khanda of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। हे नमते प्रभुर हैल अवतार आगे हरि संकीर्तन करिया प्रचार। Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, Hena Mate Prabhura Haila Avatar. In this way, our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this world. Aage Hari Sankirtana Kariya Prachar. In the future, he will preach about the glories of the congregational chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Harinam Sankirtan. That is one of the reasons why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, to preach the Yuga Dharma. शची जगन्नाथ देखी पुत्रेर श्रीमुख दुई जन हईले न आनंद स्वरूप. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very effulgent. Very, very effulgent. And his transcendental form is the form of love and happiness. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभ दिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसा प्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय. How is the Vigraha of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How is his form? Ananda Leelamaya. Blissful pastimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs. His form is Satchidananda. Eternal, completely cognizant, full of knowledge. There is no tinge of ignorance in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is also the form of bliss, Anand, happiness. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभ दिव्य छवि सुंदराय. He is extremely sundar, extremely beautiful. And how is his complexion? Hema. It's like molten gold. He has the complexion of Srimati Radharani. He has the most beautiful, effulgent golden complexion. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभ दिव्य छवि सुंदराय. छवि means his form. तस्मै महाप्रेम रसा प्रदाय. And he is giving, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bestowing upon all of us Mahaprem. What is Mahaprem? Krishna Prem is love of Godhead, but Mahaprem is the Mahabhav of Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give us Krishna Prem in the mood of the maidservants of Srimati Radharani. Tasmai Mahaprem Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. So seeing this very beautiful, golden, effulgent, blissful form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and because everyone was chanting Hari Hari during the lunar eclipse, because eclipse is considered inauspicious, so it was a custom in traditional Vedic society that whenever there is an eclipse, everyone would chant Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari to counteract the inauspicious effects of eclipse, Grahan. So everyone would chant Hari Hari. And seeing everyone taking Ganga Snan and chanting Hari Hari, little newborn, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was smiling. And seeing his beautiful, blissful, smiling face, we come to verse number 6. Shachi Jagannath dekhi putrera Shrimukha dui jana hailena ananda swarupa. Shachi Jagannath dekhi putrera Shrimukha. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and as Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra saw the beautiful smiling face of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Putrera Shri Mukha, Dui Jana Hailena Ananda Swarupa. Both of them, they became so blissful. In fact, their happiness knew no bounds. Just seeing the beautiful form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mm, glory of having darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are attracted to the different allurements that material nature, that Maya Devi presents to us because we don't have higher taste. Param Driswa, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, we can give up the lower attractions if we have something better. For example, we may be very hungry, and if there is no food, then we may even resort to eating something that is stale, something that is not our favorite. But if our favorite Mahaprasad, which is fresh, hot, tasty, delicious, hygienic, offered to Krishna, that Mahaprasad Rajbhog plate is kept before us, please have this. Then will we resort to eating that stale, bland food that we don't like? No. Why? Because we have something better. So spiritual life means accepting a better alternative. This material world, it gives us so many temptations, so many options. For example, right now, it is Saturday evening. At least in Atlanta, this is a very weather, as far as the weather is concerned, it's a very good weekend. So there are so many options. Saturday evening, so many people in America, they are watching some movie, drinking alcohol, eating meat, partying, dancing to mundane music. There are so many options. Or some who are not so much in the mode of ignorance, they may be just spending time with family, friends, just having a good time, not doing something sinful, but not doing something spiritual either. Just wasting their time in some mundane goodness. So that is also a trap. But the devotees, they will spend their time chanting, hearing Hari Katha, and singing and associating with devotees, chanting the holy names of Krishna. So material energy will give us a lot of options, my dear friends, and spiritual life means to make the right choice. Whenever we are tempted, for some time we resist. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the commentaries, our acharyas explain that when Ajamil was tempted by the prostitute, Ajamil was a Brahmin. He used to worship Shaligram Shilas. He was initiated. He had parents, he had a wife, and he knew devotional service. But when he was tempted, our acharyas explain in Srimad Bhagavatam that Ajamil tried, Ajamil made an attempt to resist the temptation of the prostitute. Hare Krishna. How many of us have gone through this emotion where we are facing a temptation, we know it is wrong, and for some time we resist? It is mentioned that Ajamil tried to remember some prayers that he had learned. So he must be chanting. He was chanting some mantras from the Vedas to control the temptation. But the arrows of Cupid had already pierced his heart. And unless and until we have very strong foundation of spiritual life. And unless and until we have tasted something higher, it is not possible to say no to temptations when temptations haunt us. We have all experienced this. We are strong for some time, but then somehow time comes when we are caught by Cupid, Kamadev. We are caught by temptations, and it is very, very painful to say no to the temptations. It is very easy to just give in to the temptations. Just 10 minutes of enjoyment, and this burning sensation will go away. Let me just satisfy my sense. Let me give in to this temptation. Many of us have gone through this. Unless and until we have two things, we will never be able to defeat lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and false ego. These anarthas can only be defeated if we have two things. One, if we have pleased Krishna by sincere, solid sadhana. And number two, if we have higher taste by Krishna's mercy. Unless we get a higher taste, it is not possible to say no to temptations. We can take vow that from today I will not do this. We can make promise to ourselves. We can do so many things. But we are not able to keep those vows. Why? Because of lack of two things. We don't have a higher taste and we have not pleased Krishna with sincere sadhana. If Krishna is pleased, then Krishna will defeat those temptations. We do not have the power to defeat the temptations, but Krishna has. Krishna is all powerful. Krishna can defeat them. But Krishna will defeat if Krishna is pleased with our sincerity. This is a very important point. In spiritual life, we must associate with advanced devotees so that we get a higher taste. Because the advanced devotees have ruchi. After anartha nivritti comes ruchi. So they have ruchi, they have taste, and by associating with them, we can also get some taste. So when we chant in the morning, we can look at our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, our six Goswamis of Vrindavan headed by Rup and Sanatan Goswamis. We can look at them and internally we can pray, meditating on the second verse of Shikshashtakam. Durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanu raga. Your name is all powerful. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita. You have invested all your power in your holy name. Holy name is all powerful. There are no rules and regulations. Niyamita Smarane Na Kalaha. There are no rules and regulations for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But still, Durdaiva, I am so unfortunate that I don't have anurag. I don't have taste for chanting your holy name. So when we are chanting our 16 rounds, we can meditate on this second verse of Shikshashtakam and look at our acharyas, our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, all our Gurugan, the six Goswamis, Panchatattva, and we can pray that all of you have taste. All of you are chanting Shuddhanam. All of you have so much attachment to chanting. Srila Prabhupada, you have so much attachment to chanting. You would chant, some Vrindavan Vasis say that Srila Prabhupada used to chant 192 rounds when he was living in Radha Damodar temple on some days. Day and night Srila Prabhupada would chant, crying. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also chanted 192 rounds for 9 years to fulfill his vow of chanting 1 billion names in Mayapur. Holy place, holy dham, Shri Navadvip Mayapur dham. And Srila Prabhupada in Seva Kunj, Shri Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada chanted. The contemporaries, the Brajvasis of Srila Prabhupada, they say that Prabhupada would chant 192 rounds. Minimum 64, that is for sure. Our Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Such taste for chanting. All these acharyas, they are pure devotees and they have taste for chanting. So we can pray to them, please give me a drop of taste. Param Dristva Nivartate. Unless I have a higher taste, I cannot say no to temptations. Temptations will pull me down time and again. So we can pray while chanting. I don't have taste. Please give me taste. Please, we should beg. Chanting in the mood of beggar. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said we should be beggars. So we should beg for taste. So here we can see in this verse, seeing the face of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra were filled with ecstasy. Unless we have tasted this ecstasy, we will fall down, my dear friends. Because in the material world, so many things will promise us ecstasy. It is not ecstasy. So, for example, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, Gaur Chandra Prabhu, one question. Suppose somebody gives you a stack of fake dollars, fake currency. You can see that this is fake, but it is lot of money. It is millions of dollars, New Zealand dollars for Gaur Chandra Prabhu and US dollars for our Mukta Sangha Prabhu. But you know for sure this is fake. Will you feel tempted to accept it?
No.
It has no value. It has no value because you know that it is fake. The enjoyment in this material world, the enjoyment of intoxication, enjoyment of meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, luxurious life, Kanaka, Kamini, Kirti. Three Ks are there in this world. Kanaka means gold, Kamini means sensual enjoyment, and Kirti means pratishtha, appreciation, respect. So whether it is wealth, whether it is sense gratification, or whether it is prestige, this whole world is crazy for these three things: Kanaka, Kamini, Kirti. Wealth, sense enjoyment, of which sexual enjoyment is the main attraction, and third is prestige and respect. These three things become insignificant. Why? Because we understand that these three things, wealth, sense gratification, and prestige, are fake currency. They are fake currency. Has anyone got Krishna Prem because of these three things? No. Therefore, it is fake because the enjoyment that they give is temporary. And this enjoyment is only in relationship to the material senses of this material body, which is perishable. So, why should we run after that? Why not run after real currency? So, on the other hand, you have got real currency. It may be less compared to the fake currency. Fake currency may be $1 million. So Gaur Chandra Prabhu and Mukta Sangha Prabhu, if you are given $1 million fake currency, on the other hand, you are given $100,000 real currency, what will you choose?
$100,000.
Yes, because it has value. Why go after fake currency? So material enjoyment, no matter how tempting it is the, even if there is some pleasure, that pleasure lasts only for few seconds. Few seconds. And after that, we are overcome with guilt. And it is not a sustainable enjoyment. It is not sustainable enjoyment. How can sense gratification be sustainable when the senses themselves are perishable? They will be completely destroyed. So therefore, we should understand philosophically this and go for a higher taste. Aim for a higher taste. Aim for the real currency. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that which seems like poison in the beginning becomes like nectar in the end. So following the four regulative principles, waking up early in the morning, chanting, in the conditioned state, it may feel like a drag. It may feel difficult, austerity. But in the end, it will give us Paramananda. It will give us Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya. It will give us Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It will give us the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nectar. Whereas enjoying, eating tasty, tasty foods in restaurants, eating onion garlic, meat, intoxicants, having illicit sex, watching things that we are not supposed to watch, doing things that we are not supposed to do, intoxication, gambling, watching news, watching movies, watching sports on television. This is all waste of time, but it may feel very enjoyable in the conditioned state. But actually, it is not sustainable. How long can you watch sports? How long can you watch news? Those who don't have a higher taste, they resort to watching news. News, everyday news. Today, this controversy, that controversy, this breaking news, this happening news. It is all waste of time. We should go for a higher taste. Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Lord Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya. Prapya means to obtain. Having obtained this anityam, this temporary asukham, devoid of real happiness, after obtaining this temporary miserable world, what you should do? Bhajasvamam. You worship me. So therefore, we should pray for higher taste. Let this be our meditation during chanting. Meditating on the first verse of Shikshashtakam, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, that Krishna, please purify me of lust, anger, greed, etc. And second verse, Krishna, please give me a higher taste. I don't have any taste for chanting. Please give me taste. You are so merciful, so kind. You have come to us in the form of your holy name to deliver us. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar, Nama Hai Tehaya Sarva Jagata Nistar. You have come for Jagata Nistar. You have come to deliver everyone in this world. Oh, please give me taste. I don't have taste. Durdaiva Idrisham Ihajani Nanurag. I don't have taste. Please give me taste. In this way, we will get Dainya Bhav. We will get humility. Third verse, Trinadapi Sunichan. We should pray that may I always chant your holy name. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So like this. Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata are teaching us that because they have a higher taste, they have seen the Lord. Therefore, we should hear Harikatha from, as far as possible, from self-realized devotees who have had Krishna Darshan, who have realized Krishna's sweetness, Krishna Premi Bhaktas, like Srila Prabhupada. You should hear from them. Verse number 8. Dhaya aila sabe yata apat gana ananda haila jagannathera bhavana. All the relatives came running to the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra. Why? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken birth. It is a custom. Whenever a child is born in a family, all the relatives, friends, they come. It's a very blissful atmosphere. But this was not an ordinary child. Verse number 9. Shachira Janaka Chakravarti Nilambar Prati Lagne Adbhut Dekhena Vipravar. Shachi Mata's father was Sri Nilambar Chakravarti. He was a great astrologer. Now, most of the Brahmins of that time had some knowledge of astrology because the Brahmanas, they are educated in the Vedic culture. And Jyotish Shastra is one of the Shastras. It is one of the scriptures. It is one of the branches of knowledge. So they knew a little bit of Ayurveda. They knew some astrology. Everyone, every Brahmana knew. But Nilambar Chakravarti is an incarnation of Garga Muni. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, we read about Garga Muni. Srila Garga Muni is a pure devotee, a very great acharya. He has given us the Garga Samhita. And His Holiness Danvir Maharaj and His Grace Kushakrat Prabhu, they have given the entire Garga Samhita to us. Kushakrat Prabhu has translated it from Sanskrit to English, and Srila Danvir Maharaj has written a commentary. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has given a series of seminars, classes on Garga Samhita, which are very sweet. So this Garga Samhita comes from Gargacharya or Garga Muni, an eternal associate of Krishna. He is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. This Garga Muni came as Nilambar Chakravarti. So he was a very great astrologer. You see, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Garga Muni, he made some predictions about Krishna and Balaram in the cowshed of Nanda Maharaj. Because Garga Muni was the family priest of the Yadus of Vasudeva Maharaj. So Vasudeva Maharaj sent him to Vraj, and he did that service for Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya. That same Gargacharya has come as Nilambar Chakravarti, the father of Shachi Mata. And now he is going to make the horoscope of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the topic of discussion today. Verse number 10. Maharaja Lakshana Sakala Lagne Kahe Rupa Dekhi Chakravarti Haila Vismaye. In each of the house of the horoscope, there were signs that indicated Maharaj, a king. So Maharaj means a great ruler, a king. Maharaj also means one who rules over the hearts of the devotees. So therefore we say Vaisheshika Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. So like that, we use the word Maharaj, Radha Govinda Maharaj, Niranjan Maharaj, Shachinandan Maharaj, this Romapad Maharaj, Srila Jayapataka Maharaj. We use the word Maharaj, which means our Gurugan, they rule over our heart. That's why Maharaj, they rule over our heart. So Maharaj Lakshan means Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will rule over the hearts of all the devotees. Maharaj Lakshana Sakala Lagne Kahe Rupa Dekhi Chakravarti Haila Vismay. Vismay. You're surprised. Nilambar Chakravarti was surprised. What an amazing horoscope Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has. Vipra Raja Gaude Hai Beka Ke Na Ache Viprabale Seva Janibataha Pache. So it was a well-known fact in Bengal. Many astrologers had predicted that a great personality will appear in Bengal, in Gauda Desh, and he will become the king. So Nilambar Chakravarti was saying that seeing the horoscope of this child, my dear Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, I think that prediction has come true. Because this child has the horoscope of a king in every house. Mahajyotirvit Vipra Sabara Agrete Lagne Anurupa Katha Lagila Kahite. Nilambar Chakravarti was a very learned astrologer, very expert astrologer. And now he started describing the horoscope of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in great detail. So here Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the details of the horoscope. I will just read it for my purification very quickly. Shukra or Venus was in the Mesha Rashi. Aries in the constellation of Ashwini. Ketu, the ninth planet, was in Simha Rashi, Leo. In Uttar Falguni. Then Chandra, the moon, was in the Simha Rashi. In Purva Falguni, the 11th lunar mansion. Shani or Saturn was in Vrichika Rashi, Scorpio, in Jyeshtha. Brihaspati or Guru, Jupiter, was in Dhanu Rashi, in Purva Shadha, Sagittarius. Mangal or Mars was in Makara Rashi, Capricorn, in Shravana. Ravi or the sun and Rahu were in Kumbha Rashi, Aquarius, in Purva Bhadrapad. And Buddha or Mercury was in Meena Rashi, Pisces, in Uttar Bhadrapad. And the Lagna was Simha. Mars, the owner of the ninth house, is exalted. Venus and Saturn are almost exalted. Jupiter, in his own house, aspects Venus, which occupies the house of Dharma. Venus, the owner of the 10th house, is aspected by Jupiter and situated in the 9th house. After scrutinizingly studying each of the Lord's Lagnas, so what is Lagna? The particular zodiac sign that appears on the eastern horizon at a given time for a given place on earth is called Lagna. After scrutinizingly studying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lagnas, Nilambar Chakravarti foretold the highest fruits and was struck with wonder by seeing the Lord's beauty, because the Lord is the original personality of Godhead. I just read those technical details. I don't understand anything about astrology, but I read it for the sake of completion and for my purification. So Mahajyotish, this Nilambar Chakravarti, he started describing in detail now everything about the horoscope of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. लग्नयत देखी ए बालक महिमा राजा है न वाक्य तारे दीते नारी सीमा. Dite Nari Sima, the horoscope is beyond description. There is no boundary, there is no limit to the glory of the horoscope of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why is this, my friends, my dear friends? Because all the constellations, all the planets, they are servants of Krishna. All the Navagrahas, they are servants of Krishna. And therefore, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, they all aligned themselves in very auspicious formations to serve Mahaprabhu. Verse number 14. Brihaspati jiniya haibe vidyavan alpei haibe sarva gunera nidhan. Very soon he will become gunera nidhan. He will become the reservoir of all good qualities. Sri Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur is saying about our newborn Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Brihaspati jiniya haibe vidyavan. He will be more learned than even Brihaspati, the most learned teacher of the Devatas, demigods. Sei khane viprarupe eka mahajan prabhura bhavishya karma karaye kathan. So there was a big assembly of many people who had come to the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra. And in that assembly was another Brahman, not Nilambar Chakravarti, but another very learned Brahman who was also very expert in astrology, and he was a devotee also. So now he started making predictions about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After hearing the horoscope chart details from Nilambar Chakravarti, this Brahman, he started making predictions. Viprabale ei shishu sakshat narayan iha haite sarva dharma haibe sthapan. Such a beautiful verse. So this devotee Brahman, he is saying, Viprabale, the Brahman said, Viprabale eshishu sakshad Narayan. This child is Sakshad Narayan. This child is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iha haite sarva dharma haibe sthapan. And he will establish the Yuga Dharma. Iha haite haibe ka apurva prachar. Ei shishu karibe sarva jagat uddhar. He will establish, he will preach, he will do prachar and jagat uddhar, and he will save the whole world. Brahma Shiva Shukayaha Vancha Anukshan Iha haite taha pai beka sarvajan. That thing which is desired by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Shukadeva Goswami. That thing. What is that thing which is desired by Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, and Shukadeva Goswami?
Pure devotional service.
Pure devotional service. Krishna Prem. So that what is desired by these great personalities, Pai Beka Sarvajan, will be given to everyone by this child. So pure devotional service, which is desired even by Shukdev Goswami, Brahmaji, Shivji, all the Mahajans, that what is desired by the Mahajans will be distributed to one and all by this child. This Brahman is predicting. How beautiful. Sarva Bhuta Dayalu Nirveda Darashane Sarva Jagatera Prita Haiba Ihane. And this is very beautiful. Sarva Bhuta Dayalu Nirveda Darashane Sarva Jagatera Prita Haiba Ihane. Just darashane, just by seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, people will develop love. They will develop Krishna Prem, and they will develop all good qualities like compassion. Just by taking darshan of Mahaprabhu. Therefore, whenever possible, we should take darshan of the Lord. If we are fortunate to have deities at home, we should take their darshan often. They should be the center of our house, center of our lives. If we don't have, then the darshan of the deities in the temple. Most temples have their websites or WhatsApp group, and daily darshan is shared. We should take darshan. We should feel a sense of belonging to the deities. Just by taking darshan, we make so much spiritual advancement. What to speak of chanting and offering prayers to them and doing some service for the deities. अन्य की दया विष्णु द्रोही ये यवन तहाराओ ए शिशुर भजी बेचरण. What to speak of the devotees? Even the Yavanas, who are meat eaters and who are averse to Vishnu, who are Vishnu Drohi, those who have rejected Lord Vishnu, they will also worship the lotus feet of this child, which means he is really Patita Pavan. Therefore, Narottam Thakur has sung Patita Pavan Hetu Tava Avatar. Mosama Patita Prabhu Na Pai Bear. Ananta Brahmande Kirti Gaiba Ihan Avipra Eshishure Karibe Pranam. Everyone, including the Vipras, the Brahmanas, everyone will do pranam, offer their respects to this child when he grows up. Bhagavata Dharmamaya Ihana Sharira Devadvija Guru Pitra Matra Bhakta Dhira. This verse is extremely beautiful. I'll read it again. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he is the personification of Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma Maya. He is Bhagavad Dharma Maya. He is Ananda Leela Maya, Vigraha, but he is also Bhagavad Dharma Maya. What is Bhagavad Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma is Jaiva Dharma. Savai Pumsa Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhakti Radhokshaje. Pure devotional service is our eternal religion. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the manifestation of the eternal religion for all of us. And he will be the benefactor. He will benefit the Devatas, the Brahmins, the Gurus, spiritual masters, mothers, fathers, and Dhira Bhaktas, the sober devotees. So I'll read this beautiful verse again. Bhagavata Dharmamaya Ihaya Sharira Deva Dvija Guru Pitra Matra Bhakta Dhira. He will be the benefactor of all these great personalities because he is the personification of Jaiva Dharma. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls Bhagavad Dharma as Jaiva Dharma. Verse number 23. Vishnu Jena Avatari Laya ye dharma Seimata e Shishuka Rive Sarva Karma. Just like Lord Vishnu, he incarnates as Yuga Dharma in every Yuga and induces people to follow the particular Yuga Dharma. Kriteya Dhayato Vishnum, Tretayam Yegato Makhay, Dwapare Paricharyayam, Kalautad Hari Kirtana. Meditation in Satya Yuga, elaborate sacrifices in Treta Yuga, elaborate deity worship in Dwapar Yuga, and just Harinam Sankirtan in Kali Yuga. Similarly, this Shishu, this small child, has come and he is going to propagate the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Kirtan. Lagneyata kahe shubha lakshana ihana kara shakti achetaha karite vyakhyana. This child's horoscope is so exalted, so glorious, so great that I do not have the power to properly describe the glories of this horoscope, this chart. Again, this is because all the planets arrange themselves in their best possible arrangement. Like we say, we have to put our best foot forward. We have to be our best at the most important time. And for all the devatas, all the demigods who are controllers of all these planets, for them the most important time is when their Supreme Lord has appeared. So therefore they are offering what they have best to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dhanya tumi Mishra Purandara Bhagyavan Jara e Nandana Tare Rahuka Pranam. This is also a very, very beautiful verse The Brahman is saying that you are so fortunate, Jagannath Mishra. In fact, anyone who is blessed to be the parent of this glorious child, to him my pranam, my obeisances to that person who has the fortune of being the parent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dhanya tumi, all glories to you. Dhanya tumi Mishra Purandara Bhagyavan. You are most glorious. Jara e Nandana Tare Rahu ka pranam. Because he is your Nandan, because he is your son, my obeisances to you. The Brahman is saying. Hena koshti gani laya ami bhagyavan Shri Vishwambhara Nama Haibe Ihan. This is the important verse, my dear friends. This is the verse where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been named. So, Hena Koshti Ganilaya Ami Bhagyavan. I am very fortunate to be able to calculate his horoscope and read his horoscope. That Brahman is saying, Shri Vishwambhara Nam Haibe Ihan. Let his name be Vishwambhar. Vishwambhar means Vishwa means the whole world, and Bhara means the maintainer of the whole world. So Vishwambhar means he who is the maintainer of the whole world, he who is the support of the whole world. Vishwambhar, another name for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Vishwambhar is the name for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. Therefore, Vishwambharaya Dhimahi. We meditate on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Navadvip Leela. In his Navadvip Leela. Why? Because in Navadvip Leela we can worship Mahaprabhu nicely. He will accept our offerings. He will accept our scented oils for his beautiful hair. He will accept colorful clothes. He will accept all jewelry and ornaments that we offer him. He will accept sandalwood pulp, beautiful garlands. He will accept everything. He will accept our Abhishek also. Whereas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Jagannath Puri as sannyasi, he is Virakta Chudamani. He is the crest jewel of renunciates. He has a shaved head. He just wears simple clothes of a sannyasi. So, if we have to meditate on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we meditate on him in his form as Navadvip Bihari, Vishwambhar. Nimai Vishwambhar. Nimai Vishwambhara Srinivasa Ishvara Bhakta Samoha Chita Chora. Bhakta Samoha Chita Chora. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu steals our mind, steals our consciousness. Even Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has prayed in the beautiful song Vibhavari Shesha. Ravananta kara makhanata skara gopi jana vastrahari brajera rakhala gopa vrinda pala chittahari vamshidhari. Chittahari vamshidhari. Vamshidhari, Krishna who plays the flute. Chittahari. This is a very deep meaning actually. This simple verse composed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, such deep meaning. Ravan Antakkara. First he kills the Ravan mentality. What is Ravan mentality? Ravan mentality is the mentality of sense gratification. Ravan represents the anarthas, specifically lust. So first we have to defeat our anarthas before we can make any tangible spiritual progress. Ravan Antakkara. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says 4 regulative principles. It is very important to follow the 4 regulative principles. Strictly. Very important. So, Ravan Antakkara. First, the Ravan mentality of sense gratification has to be killed by practicing devotional service. Ravan Antakkara Makhanataskara. When we practice Anartha Nivritti and we become purified, then our heart becomes soft and pure like butter. Pure like butter. Butter is pure white. Very pure. So our heart also becomes soft and pure like butter. That is Chetodarpana Marjanam. So Ravananta Kara is Chetodarpana Marjanam. Killing the Ravan within. Ravananta Kara Makhanata Skara. And then when our heart becomes like Makhan, becomes pure like butter, Makhana Taskar. Krishna will come and steal our heart. But first we have to become purified. Krishna will not accept anything that is impure. So first we have to become purified, then Krishna will steal our heart. Ravananta Kara Makhana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari. Gopi Jana Vastrahari. What is the meaning of Chir Haran Leela? What is the meaning of Vastra Haran Leela? When Krishna stole the garments of the young beautiful gopis. When Krishna steals our garments, what does it mean? Gopi Jana Vastrahari. It means Krishna accepts us as his own. Because the gopis, they prayed, they observed the Katyayani Vrat for 1 month so that Krishna will accept them as his own. Krishna will accept us as his own. So by stealing away our clothes, Krishna is accepting us as our own. Because whose clothes do we take? Only someone who is our own. We don't steal the clothes of somebody else. So Krishna performed this Leela to make the gopis his own. So our prayer is that once Ravanantakara, once the Anartha Nivritti has happened, then Makhana Taskara, Krishna will steal our heart. And after stealing our heart, we have no one but Krishna. Our heart is stolen means Krishna, I am yours, Krishna, I am yours, Krishna, I am yours. Tavasmi, 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 Krishna, I am yours. And Gopijana Vastrahari means Krishna has accepted us as his own. Krishna says, yes, you are mine. Yes, you are mine. That is the meaning of Gopijana Vastrahari. Ravananta Kara Makhanata Skara Gopijana Vastrahari Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala. Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala means what? Krishna becomes our mentor. Once Krishna accepts us as his own, then Atmanivedanam, Goptritve Varana. Krishna is our maintainer. Then Gopa Vrindapala. Krishna will do our Palan Poshan. Krishna will maintain us. We are Krishna's. Krishna has accepted us as his own. Now Krishna will maintain us. That is the meaning. Gopa Vrindapala. Krishna will maintain us. Ravananta Kara Makhanata Skara Gopijana Vastrahari Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala. Atmanivedana. Chittahari Vamshidhari. And then through his flute, Venu Madhuri, through the sweetness of his flute, Krishna will completely steal our consciousness. Then we will not belong to this material world. We will become mad. Chittahari Vamshidhari. This Vamshi and Chittahari, this is Prayojan, my dear friends. This is Prayojan. This is the ultimate achievement for a soul. Prema Prayojan. Therefore, the Pranam mantra of Gopinath is Karshana Venu Swanayar Gopir Gopinath Shri Estuna. Karshana Venu. Through his flute, he will attract us like anything. That is the perfection of life. Therefore, Nimai Vishwambara Srinivasa Ishwara Bhakta Samuha Chitta Chora. So Chittahari, Vamshidhari and Bhakta Samuha Chitta Chora is same. That same Krishna is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Bhakta Samuha Chitta Chora. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the transcendental thief who has stolen the minds and the hearts of all the devotees. Bhakta Samuha, group of devotees. And then we become Gaura Premijan. And that is what we want. That is what we want. So his name is Vishwambhar. Verse number 27. इहाने बलिबे लोक नवद्वीप चंद्र ए बालके जानीहा केवल परानंद. This child is certainly the Parananda. He is the emblem, he is the personification of pure bliss, spiritual bliss. And therefore, he will be known as Navadvip Chandra. Navadvip Chandra. Because Kali Yuga is very dark age. Kali Yuga is dark age. Darkness. Darkness of ignorance. Darkness of avidya, ignorance. And when we are lost in a dark night, if there is full moon, then we can see. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared millions of times more effulgent than the full moon during this dark night called Kali Yuga. So he will be known as Navadvip Chandra. That brilliant moon who has come to give us light in this dark age. And where has he arisen from? From Navadvip. He appeared in Navadvip. So he's called Navadvip Chandra. हे नरसे पाछे हया दुखेर प्रकाश अतएव न कहिला प्रभुर संन्यास. Heartbreaking, heart melting. This Brahman, looking at the horoscope, he came to know at the age of 24, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take sannyas. But while making all these predictions, he's making so many predictions, giving him name also based on his horoscope. But the Brahman and also Nilambar Chakravarti, they are refraining, they are desisting from making the prediction that someday, when he's 24 years old, O Shachi Devi, O Jagannath Mishra, your son Vishwambhar, Navadvip Chandra, will leave all of you and take sannyas. They could see it in the chart, but they did not say that. Why? Hena rase pache haya dukkhera prakash ataiva na kahila prabhura sannyas. They did not mention about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas because they did not want to give dukkha. At such a joyous occasion, they did not want to give pain to the parents of Vishwambhar. This teaches us a lot, my dear friends, how we should be sensitive. Many times in the passion to speak the truth, we hurt devotees unnecessarily. And we come out saying, yes, I spoke the truth. I spoke the truth. Prabhu, I am a very candid person. There is a subtle pride in saying that. Sometimes people say no, that, sorry Prabhu, I am an honest person. I just say it as it is. No, that is not what Krishna wants us to do. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchchate. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us how vangmaya, how our speech should be. Anudvega karam vakyam, it should be non-agitating. Satyam, yes, we have to speak the truth. Priya hitam chayat, but it should be priya, it should be pleasing also. We have to speak in a pleasing way. And spiritual maturity means to know what to speak, what not to speak. So, Nilambar Chakravarti and this very nice Brahman, they are teaching us how our speech should be controlled, how we should be mature in our presentation, what to speak, what not to speak. Prabhupada did that in a very amazing way. I always admire, if you see Srila Prabhupada's English lectures in the Western world, and you hear Srila Prabhupada's Hindi lectures given in India, there is a notable difference in the mood. Hare Krishna. I don't know how many of you have noticed, but you hear Srila Prabhupada's English lectures given to a mainly Western audience, and you hear Srila Prabhupada's Hindi lectures given to the Indians in India. As far as the Tattva is concerned, as far as the Bhakti Siddhanta is concerned, it is non-different in both the lectures. Thank you, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, for sharing that verse from Bhagavad Gita. So the philosophy is the same that Srila Prabhupada is speaking. in both the situations. But because the audience is different, Srila Prabhupada's mood is also different. For example, in the Western countries, Srila Prabhupada emphasized certain things like vegetarianism or cow protection. But if you hear his Indian lecture, his Hindi lectures, he's mentioning those things, but not so heavily emphasizing because the audience are little different. Srila Prabhupada will emphasize more coming to the temple, becoming life members. But Srila Prabhupada never emphasized life membership program in the Western world. It was mainly in India. In the Western world, Srila Prabhupada emphasized Harinam Sankirtan, like that. So Srila Prabhupada made adjustments based on time, place, and circumstances. So this we must understand. Our presentation should be done in a mature way so that it has the desired effect. It has the desired effect. It should bring people closer to Krishna. In the passion to speak the truth, we should not hurt the hearts of devotees. We should be sensitive. Sometimes we see this even from experienced preachers. Unfortunately, sometimes they break the hearts of devotees. Time, place, and circumstances. We should be very careful. With our presentation. So this we can learn from Nilambar Chakravarti and the Brahman. So I will stop here. It's 1 hour. We'll try to keep time. And if there are any comments or questions, we can spend a few minutes doing that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. There is a very nice Falashruti for this chapter, but we didn't completely finish the chapter. Next Saturday, we will discuss that and then go to the next chapter. We'll discuss the Falashruti. So yes, Tushar Prabhu has raised his hand. Tushar Prabhu, please go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Adigadar Prabhu. Thanks once again for the wonderful class. Always good to see you. I had a more question about a point you made about depending on Krishna. And I wanted to understand more of it in a practical sense. So a lot of times in our Krishna consciousness journey, many senior devotees say, you should always take shelter of Krishna, depend on Krishna for all your needs. But at the same time, a lot of people also say, you have to take your own initiative. You are responsible for your own journey and in your own development in your Krishna consciousness. So how do you find a balance in that?
Work as if everything depends on you and pray as if everything depends on Krishna. Hare Krishna. And we should always pray. And we should not be lazy, we should work also. So we should always pray, which means we should always be in the mood that everything depends on Krishna. Ultimately, whatever Krishna wants, that will happen. And we should make our efforts as if everything depends on our efforts. So the balance is taught to us by Arjun. He was depending on Krishna for Krishna's grace, for Krishna's guidance, but at the same time he was trying his level best to kill Jayadratha. Before sunset, he had to kill Jayadratha. He was trying his level best. With all his talent, with all his skills, he was trying his best to get Jayadratha. But at the same time, he was depending on Krishna. And at the end of the day, whatever Krishna wants, Rakhe Krishna mare ke, mare Krishna rakhe ke. Maro bhi rakho bhi, jo ichha tohar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you can kill me, you can let me live, whatever you want. Nitya dasa tua adhikar. I am your eternal servant and you have adhikar, you have right to do whatever you want with me. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also prayed, Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtuma madarshanan marmahatam karotuva yatha tathava vidhatu lampato mat prananatha susayavana. You are the Lord of my life, no matter what you do. Ashlishya, you can embrace me. Padaratam, I am very attached to your lotus feet. Pinashtu, but you can still crush me with those same lotus feet to whom I am so attached. Padaratam pinashtu, you can crush me under your lotus feet. Or Adarshanan marmahatam. By not giving me darshan, you can give a lot of pain to my heart. Yatha tatha. Whatever you do, Krishna, you are completely independent. You can do whatever you want with me. But you are my prananath. Mat prananath. Because we have a conception that why this is happening to me, why this is happening to me, why you are doing this. Because we consider that our pran, our life belongs to us. But if we are convinced that our life belongs to Krishna, this pran is Krishna. Krishna belongs to Krishna because he's prananath. He is the master of my pran, of my life. Then we don't complain. So we should, whatever talents Krishna has given us, whatever resources Krishna has given us, Tushar Prabhu, we should try our best to serve Krishna. But at the end of the day, we always depend on Krishna. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sango swa akarmani. This verse, there are 4 things which we have to understand. Karmanyavadhikaraste. We have a responsibility to do our karma, to do our duties. Like Arjun, he was shooting his arrows. Karmanyavadhikaraste. Ma phaleshu kadachana. But we never have a claim of proprietorship to the fruits of our actions. So we may work hard, we may do a job, we may get our paycheck, but we should know all the money belongs to Krishna. If we give $108 donation, we should not think that I am giving something to Krishna. No. If we make $2,000 and we give $108 donation, then we should not think that I am giving Krishna $108. We should think that I am holding back $1,892, if my math is correct. You are holding back those many dollars from Krishna. But everything, full $2,000 belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So that should be our attitude. So karmanyavadhikaraste, we should do our duty very nicely. Ma phaleshu kadachana, but we should not be attached to the fruits, knowing that everything belongs to Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhava mata sarvam pravartate. Mata parataram nanyat kinchidasi dhananjaya mai sarvam itam protam sutre mani gana iva. Just like pearls are strung by a string and held together by a string, similarly, all of us are being held together by Krishna. We cannot see the string in a necklace. See, in my Kanthimala, you can see only tulsi, 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 tulsi. You cannot see the nylon string, but it is a nylon string that is holding the Kanthimala together, right? So you cannot see the nylon. Doesn't mean that the nylon string doesn't exist. In fact, it is what is holding the Kanthimala together. Similarly, Krishna. We cannot see Krishna, but Krishna is giving us our ability to work as engineers. Krishna is giving us the ability to work as IT professionals or as physicians or lawyers. Balam balavatam chaham. From Krishna we are getting paurusham rishu. From Krishna we are getting all our abilities. So therefore everything belongs to Krishna. So karmanyavadhikaraste, we should do our duty. Ma phaleshu kadachana, but we are not entitled to the fruits of our action because everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavasyam jagat sarvam. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur. And we should never think that because of me these results have appeared. Because of me these fruits have come. No. What is that? What is that verse?
Karmanyavadhikaraste?
No. This very commonly quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita.
About
That prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimhudatma karta aham iti manyate. Karta aham iti manyate. Prakriti kriyamanani. Everything is carried out by 3 modes of material nature. Prakriti. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. Ahankara vimhudatma. Out of ahankar, out of ego, vimudhatma. Mood, completely bewildered person will think, foolish person will think, karta aham iti manyate, will think that I am the karta, I am the doer. So ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur. We are not the hetu, we are not the cause of the results. Prakriti kriyamani gune karmani sangasha. Ahankara vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. I am not the karta. Krishna is the doer. All credit goes to Krishna. All glories to Guru Gauranga. No glories to me. So, karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So we should do our duty, but we should not hanker for the fruits. We should not claim proprietorship over the results of our actions. And ma karma phala heturbhut. Ma means no. And we are not the cause of the results that we are producing. So one may think, oh my God, I have to work. I am not entitled to my fruits, and I cannot even claim credit for the results. Then why should I work? So fourth line, Krishna says, Ma karma phala heturbhur, ma te sangos akarmani. And don't not do your duty. Ma te sangos akarmani. Don't be attached to not doing work. Don't think that, oh, I am not entitled to the fruits, I cannot claim credit, so I might as well not work. No. Krishna says in the fourth line. Therefore, if you talk to people in the outside world, they are very expert at quoting the first line of this verse. Karmanyavadhikaraste. Just do your karma. They will say like that. Become a karma yogi. No. You have to understand the full verse. First line is, we must do our duty diligently as a matter of duty. Number two, we are not the enjoyers of the fruits. Everything belongs to Krishna. Number three, we are not the only doer. We are not the cause of the results, good or bad. We are not the only cause. We may be the immediate cause, but there is an instrumental cause and there is a ultimate cause also. For everything, there are three causes. There is the immediate cause, there is the instrumental cause, and there is the ultimate cause. For example, if you take a test, you are a student of Georgia Tech. Suppose you take a test in Georgia Tech. So you have studied the entire semester. You have worked hard. So you are the immediate cause. Suppose you get a A grade. Because you are a good student, you get an A grade. So you are the immediate cause of getting A grade. But there is an instrumental cause also for you getting A grade. You are the immediate cause, granted. But there is an instrumental cause also. What is the instrumental cause? All the teachers and professors at Georgia Tech who taught you. All the teachers, all the books that you read, all the resources that helped you prepare for the exam. And then, your parents who have given you this body, who have funded your education, who have given you money to eat food and live in an apartment, they are also contributors to your success. So they are the instrumental cause. And then there is the ultimate cause, and that is Krishna. So parents may support, parents may fund, teachers may teach, you may study, but ultimately Krishna is there. What if such questions are asked that you are not able to answer them despite all this? What if there is a stroke and there is sudden memory loss? What if there is an accident and you're not able to, and not you, but and somebody is not able to reach the exam hall, exam center? So we may study, we may have teachers teaching us, parents helping us, but still we will not get the result if the ultimate cause is not favorable. So see, we cannot claim ownership to the results just by ourselves. There is an immediate cause, there is an instrumental cause, and there is an ultimate cause, which is Krishna or Paramatma. So that is the third line. Ma karma phala heturbhur and ma te sango swa karmani. And therefore, because you cannot claim proprietorship, don't say I will not work. No, you still have to work for the pleasure of Krishna. That is karma yoga. So we should work in this world as karma yogis, and karma yogi is the definition in this verse of Bhagavad Gita with these four principles. We are working for Krishna's pleasure because Ishavasyam Jagat Sarvam. Krishna is the owner and proprietor of everything. But we should pray as if everything depends on Krishna. That Krishna, through this, may I please you. I am doing this only as a service to you. This is all an offering to you. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mada arpanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells us, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away in charity, whatever work you do that as an offering to me. Mat karma krin, mat paramo, mat bhakta sangha varjita, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yaha samameti pandava. This is the last verse of the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this one verse is the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So it starts with the principle, mat karma krin, work for me. So we should pray like that. That Krishna, I'm doing this for you. This is all an offering to you. So we should pray as if everything depends on Krishna and work with enthusiasm as if everything depends on us. But we know it doesn't. Is that helpful, Tushar Prabhu?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu. Definitely clarified things.
Hare Krishna. Saujanya Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, Sargurish to Shri Prabhupada. It was very wonderful class, Prabhuji. I came to know a lot, like when you were explaining how when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and then astrology and the predictions and all that. So in relation to this, I have a question, like when we see in Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, when Lord Rama appeared and Lord Krishna appeared, I mean, based on like how it's written in the scriptures that, see, Lord Rama came and then everybody knew in Treta Yuga that, you know, he was the God and he came for a reason and he killed Ravana, like that. And same thing in Dwapar Yuga, like why Lord Krishna came, the purpose. But in Kali Yuga, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, like Kali Yuga is not ended, but not everyone knows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared and then he's none other than Lord Krishna. And then how come people don't know? Like, for example, I'm from South India. Even now, if I ask my parents, they don't even know, you know, these things that happened. They only came to know Hare Krishna movement recently, only because, you know, like in Bangalore, they built the temple. So they saw the temple, oh, Hare Krishna movement. But why like that? That, you know, then what is the purpose when it is not known to everyone?
Yes.
That's the question I got, Prabhuji.
So yes, Saujanya Mataji, very nice question. In our Shastras, Krishna is called as a Tri-Yugi. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Krishna is called as Tri-Yugi. Means he appears in 3 yugas. Tri means 3. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga. He is not mentioned to appear in Kali Yuga. Why? Because in Kali Yuga, he is called Channa Avatar. Channa means hidden. So Krishna is Tri-Yugi. He comes in 3 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. In Kali Yuga, he comes in a hidden form. In a hidden form. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is clearly mentioned in the scriptures. We shared that PDF also, so many places it is mentioned. But he is mentioned in a hidden form. Like, for example, Matsya Avatar. Matsya Avatar is a full chapter in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The last chapter of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is about Matsya Avatar. Then in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are chapters describing Narasimha Dev in the 7th canto. Right? There are chapters describing Varahadev in the 3rd canto. There are chapters describing Vamana Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. So these incarnations of Krishna, Matsya Avatar, Varahadev, Vamana Avatar, Kurma Dev in the Sagar Manthan Leela, he is described. There are chapters describing him. So these are described elaborately in the scriptures in detail. But there is no chapter about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no chapter about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Padma Purana. Because he is a Channa Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna comes as a Channa Avatar, as a hidden incarnation. Why? Because in Kali Yuga, people don't have faith. People don't have faith. Even if it is there in the scriptures, people will misuse it. Even though it is not mentioned in the scriptures that Krishna will come in Kali Yuga, still there are so many people who claim to be Krishna or who claim to be God. So imagine if there is a description that in Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord will come. So many people will start saying, I am Krishna, I am Krishna. Even in Dwapar Yuga, that tendency was there. There was only one, what was his name? Pundlik Vasudev?
Pondrak Vasudev.
Pundrak Vasudev. There was only one Pundrak Vasudev in Dwapar Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, if there is a prediction that Krishna is going to come, let's say his name will be Krishna Chaitanya, there will be so many people who will say, I am Krishna Chaitanya. So many people who claim to be God. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, Krishna doesn't declare himself as God. Even the Devatas, demigods, don't come on earth in Kali Yuga. They come up to Dwapar Yuga. You see, in Rajasuya Yajna, in Parikshit Maharaj's Bhagavatam, last 7 days, so many demigods came. Narad Muni came, and so many demigods came. but not in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, they don't come. The demigods don't come, and the Supreme Lord also doesn't come, because Kali Yuga is very contaminated. So when he comes out of his mercy, he comes in a hidden form, Channa Avatar. That is the reason, Mataji. Because Kali Yuga, people don't have faith, and people will misuse. Everybody will say, I am God, I am God. Therefore, he is not mentioned in the scriptures. He's called Triyugi and Channa Avatar. Is that okay? Saujanya Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Then what about Kalki Avatar that we hear? That
Kalki Avatar is
it
at
true?
the junction of Kali Yuga.
Kalki Avatar is at the junction of Kali Yuga and
Sorry, there was an echo. Yeah, so Kalki Avatar, he will inaugurate the Satya Yuga. So he will just come, kill the mlechas, the atheists, and then he will start Satya Yuga. Many times I think, how can Satya Yuga start? There is so much plastic, there is so much pollution, chemicals. How can Satya Yuga start where everything is pure, all the rivers are clean? So that is Kalki Dev. Just by his touch, because he is Krishna, just by Kalki Dev's touch, everything will become purified. All the plastic will be gone. All the pollutants, chemicals will be gone. All the air will become pure. Soil pollution will go away just by Kalki Dev's touch. So Kalki Dev comes at the very end, and he actually inaugurates Satya Yuga. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Adhikar Prabhu, can I have a small question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Prabhu, regarding astrology, you were just describing, right? So as a sadhakas, how much we have to rely upon or incline towards astrology? First question. And I also heard many places that Srila Prabhupada endorsing astrology, and he gave the example that if we have to be safe, if you know that it is going to rain, you have to take umbrella with you. So just to be in future, you know what's going to happen. So it is kind of endorsing astrology. So do we really have to rely upon astrology, Prabhu? Or and also same lines, is there any astrologer whom we can trust?
Hare Krishna. I will answer the first question first. Yes, there are astrologers who can be trusted. Amarendra Prabhu is one of them. Amarendra Prabhu has studied astrology. And Shri Vrindavan Prabhu, he is a disciple of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So these two astrologers I know. As far as astrology is concerned, Prabhu, I will share with you what I have heard from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and other acharyas, from my Guru Maharaj also. Astrology is a Vedic science. Astrology is real. It is a Shastra, Jyotish Shastra. So it is part of our Vedic scriptures, and it is ultimately created by Krishna only, and it is real. These planets do have an influence on us, and astrology may be helpful for many people, and it is meant to help us. However, astrology is not pure devotional service. Anya abhilashita shunya jnana karmadi anavratam anukullena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. Uttama bhakti is anya abhilashita shunya. We do not want to avoid, by using astrology, any pure devotional service. Doesn't mean that we use astrology and try to avoid any sufferings. That is not the teachings of pure devotional service. That is not the teachings of Rupa Goswami. That is not the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Prahlad Maharaj says, that the more we try to find the material solutions to our problems in this material world, the more we will, the solutions, the material solutions that we propose to our problems, like doing some japa or doing some puja to counteract some bad karma, we are simply making things more complicated for us. These are the words of Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. The more material solutions we propose, the more we get entangled in this material world. Therefore, dharma projita kayatavot. Srimad Bhagavatam, third verse, I think, second or third verse itself. I think second verse. Dharma projita kayatavot. All these sub-religious principles. Religious principle means Bhagavad Dharma, Jaiva Dharma, which is Uttama Bhakti. Anything less than that is rejected by Srimad Bhagavatam. And we follow Srimad Bhagavatam. So astrology really is not meant for us. Hare Krishna. It's not meant for us. And I will tell you, I'll explain why. Astrology should be used by people in general to come to realize the importance of Krishna Bhakti. How Krishna Bhakti is the solution for everything. To come to that realization, the non-devotees or those who are not serious devotees, they can take help of astrology to become more serious. Because I have seen so many times, Shri Vrindavan Prabhu and Amarendra Prabhu, when they give solutions to people based on their astrological reading, the solution is always the same. The reading is different, but the solution is same. What is the solution? Chant Hare Krishna. Always. Always. And Shri Vrindavan Prabhu, he even told me that astrology doesn't really work on the sincere devotee, especially if we are initiated. And Hari Parshad Prabhu also, he told me, showed me some verses in the scriptures which clearly say that if one is properly initiated in the bona fide sampradaya, then really there is no need to take shelter of astrology. Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papa Sashangshanam. All the prarabdha, all the pap, they are all destroyed. Last time we saw that verse, that how the holy name destroys so many sins that a sinful person doesn't even have the capacity to commit so many sins. Such is the power in chanting the holy name. So what is astrology? Astrology basically gives us an idea about our previous karmic background, the karmic load that we are carrying with us. And it suggests some solutions where we can minimize the effect of our previous karma and the influence of the planets. And it gives us some idea about what is coming in the future. But what happens is, this material world is a place of misery. Dukhalayam shashvatam, anityam sukham lokam, padam padam vipadam. At every step there is vipadi, there is calamity in this material world. Kunti Maharani says that let these calamities come. Kunti Maharani doesn't say that let me go to an astrologer to see how this vipadi, these adversities cannot come. So when we take shelter of Krishna by accepting a bona fide guru and following the process of Bhagavad Dharma, which we are discussing in Chaitanya Bhagavat, when we take to this process, then we are handing over the reins of our chariot to Krishna. Just like Arjun, he handed over the reins of his chariot to Krishna. So when we become devotees of Krishna, serious devotees of Krishna, and we take initiation, we are giving our life to Krishna. Then whatever calamities come in our life, they are coming by the sanction of Krishna for our purification. Because Krishna knows exactly what we need to come closer to him. So whatever problems come in our life, whatever problems will come in our life in the future, they are sent to us by Krishna. We have to see Krishna's hand in that. Yomam paschati sarvatra, sarvasya mai paschati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. One who sees me in everything and everything in me, for him I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So whatever calamities are there in our life, whatever calamities will come in our life, they are simply opportunities for us to take deeper and deeper shelter of Krishna. And we must have complete faith, Muktasanga Prabhu, that whatever calamities come, actually we deserve much more. But because we are on this path of Krishna consciousness, Krishna is giving us a token sample, a small sample, and finishing off our karma. So we can go back home, back to Godhead. This faith we must have. And there is so much proof from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra for this statement. That Krishna, he minimizes the reaction that is due, and he destroys all our prarabdha karma and takes us back home, back to Godhead. So what is the problem with astrology? That's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was the greatest astrologer on planet Earth of his time, and he wrote the Surya Siddhanta, which is very much used by the astrologers, modern astrologers. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur himself gave up the practice of astrology. This is the greatest proof. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur himself gave it up. Because it is not paro dharmo. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhakti radhokshaje ahaituki apratihata. It should be unmotivated and continuous, uninterrupted. Yatma prasida suprasidati. So we have to take exclusive shelter of Krishna. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Those who are exclusively surrendered to me, to them I will carry what they lack and I will preserve what they have. There is no need to take shelter of astrology. Why? What is the problem with astrology? When we get predictions, something bad is going to happen in the future, then we become nervous. Before only, we become disturbed. Oh my God, this is going to happen. I'm going to have an accident. I'm going to die. Whatever the predictions may be. That is one, disturbance happens in our mind. Fear comes. A fear is generated in us, and that can disturb our faith and our practice of Krishna consciousness. And secondly, ultimately, whatever happens to a devotee is granted by Krishna, because not even a leaf can move without Krishna's sanction. We know that. So once you have taken shelter of Krishna, why look at the immediate cause or the instrumental cause? Why not focus on the ultimate cause? We discussed about immediate cause, instrumental cause, and ultimate cause. Why not focus on the ultimate cause? That is Krishna. Because we saw how even if instrumental cause and immediate cause is there, but there is no sanction of Paramatma, there is no sanction of Krishna, it won't happen. It won't happen. You can get the best seeds and you can plow the soil in the best possible way and plant those seeds. But if there is no water, there is no rain, then there will be no crop. So, therefore, astrology is there, but for sincere devotees, it is a sub-religious principle. It is a distraction, and it should be given up. It should be rejected by sincere devotees. Shukar, Shanichar, Rahu, Ketu, ये सब गृह तेरो चेरो, रघुनाथ सहाय कर, कौन बिगाड़ सके नर में. Goswami Tulsidas ji, he says that all these planets, tero chero, they are the chelas, they are the servants, kinkars of Krishna. And if Raghunath, if Lord Ramchandra has decided something, is going to help you, if he is your master, Janaki Nath sahaya kare, kaun bigad sake naram, then what can these planets do to you? If Krishna is protecting, what can these planets do? Bhishma Dev is one of the Vasus, and he tried to kill Arjun. But Krishna picked up that wheel, he became Rathanga Pane, and he saved Arjun. He was willing to break his own vow. Karna had a arrow which would never fail, and he shot it at Arjun. And Arjun was going to be, that arrow was going to hit Arjun in the head. But Krishna put his foot down, and the chariot got buried underground, and it only hit the helmet, the crown of Arjun, and Arjun was saved. So if Krishna wants to help, nobody can do anything to us. So pure devotional service means to have complete faith in Krishna and not depend on astrology, but just depend on the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. mercy of Guru and Gauranga. This is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. This is what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is teaching us. And this is what Srila Prabhupada taught us. But for devotees who are not fixed up, those who are new to Krishna consciousness, they may take guidance, especially for marriage and all those things. Some basic guidelines can be taken from astrology, but certainly initiated devotees, devotees who are sincere or those who want to be sincere, it is better that we just throw our hands up and depend completely on Krishna. Depend completely on Krishna. That is what will please Guru and Krishna, not astrology. Pure devotional service. Complete shelter of Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayichyami ma suja. Krishna wants that we should give up everything and just surrender to Krishna. He will take care of everything. He will destroy all the karma. He will destroy all the sinful reactions. There is no need to take shelter of astrology. Is that okay, Muktasanga Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. That really helped.
So we'll stop here. It is late. And see you by Krishna's, if Krishna desires, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
next,
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha.
All right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.